Hey y'all. Okay, today we are practicing again with our speed formula. So we're going to be calculating speed, distance, and time. So I want to start off with a quick review over the formulas, the units, and the variables. So let's look at the top section of your worksheet. This is important, so that's why we're going over it again. Okay, so remember our formula, speed equals distance divided by time. So speed equals distance divided by time. So that's our base formula, distance divided by time. Okay, so in your triangle, speed equals distance divided by time. So S is for speed, D is for distance, and T is for time. Okay? So our next formula here, distance equals speed times time. So you can put a multiply right there, speed times time. So over here, speed multiplied by time. And then our third formula is time equals distance divided by speed. So time is distance divided by speed. Okay, so to help us in our word problems recognize the different variables here, we need to know our units. So speed can be in meters per second. It can be in miles per hour. It can even be in kilometers per hour. Distance is going to be meters, which is sometimes represented just by M. It's going to be miles, can even be kilometers, okay? Time is in seconds, which is represented by an S. It can be in minutes, or it can be in hours. Okay, so let's look at our first practice problem. So here we are finding speed. We're using our distance divided by time formula to find speed. Okay, so it says find the speed of a horse that runs 150 meters in 60 seconds. So this is worded weird. Okay, so we're looking for the speed. It gives us the meters and it gives us the seconds. Okay, so we know meters is distance. So we're going to put that here, 150 meters. We know that 60 seconds is going to be seconds is time. So that's our T. And we're looking for speed. So our speed formula is distance divided by time. So we're going to write that in the formula box. Step 3, we're going to show our work. So we're going to take these numbers, plug them into our formula, and write it down. So 1,500 meters divided by 60 seconds. So what you need to remember is that whatever is on top goes in the calculator first. So put this in your calculator first. Okay, so that's the distance is always going to go into the calculator first, and then you hit divide by either the time or the speed next. Okay, so 1,500 divided by 60. When you plug that in your calculator, you're going to get 25. Now we need to show our units. That's why it's important to put our units over here. So M over S is right here, M/S meters per second. Okay, let's do another one together. So question number 1 on your worksheet says a car travels 250 kilometers in 6 hours. What is the average speed of the car? And it even tells us to calculate it in kilometers per hour. So it's giving us the units here. Okay, so let's see what we need to do. Step 1, write down the numbers that are given in the problem. So 250 kilometers. Kilometers is our distance. 6 hours. Hours is the time. Speed is what we are looking for. So now we're going to look for our speed formula. Speed equals distance divided by time. Step 3, plug in the numbers and show your work. So we're going to take our speed equals distance, 250 kilometers, divided by time of 6 hours. Okay, let's put that in our calculator. So whatever's on top is going to go in the calculator first. So 250 divided by 6 is going to give us 41.6. Now, what units? Right here, kilometers per hour, which is what they told us it was going to be in. So km/hours. Okay, so part 1 of this worksheet is all the same. It's speed equals distance divided by time. So question 2, question 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all going to be done that exact same way. Okay, so you can pause the video and answer questions 2 through 6, and then come back when you're ready for part 2. Okay, for part 2 of the video, we are going to find time. So to find time, we're using our formula, distance divided by speed. Time is distance divided by speed. Okay, so let's look at this. The first thing we have here is an example problem. So it says, find the time it takes a horse to travel 250 meters at a speed of 10 meters per second. So 250 meters at 10 meters per second. So step 1, write down the numbers given to us in the problem with their units. So we have 250 meters is the distance. We have a speed of 10 meters per second. Step 2, look at what is given and decide which formula to use. So step 2, we're looking for the time. So we need distance divided by speed. Step 3, plug in the numbers that are given into the formula and show your work. So time is 250 meters divided, the distance is 250 meters divided by 10 meters per second. So plug it into your calculator. Remember, whatever is in the top goes in your calculator first. So put 250 divided by 10 should give you 25. And the time is in seconds. Where did the seconds come from? Well, look over here. Here we have seconds. Meters divided by meters cancels out, so that's what we're left with. So we know our time is going to be in seconds. Okay, let's do one more together just to make sure you know what you're doing. A car travels 500 kilometers at a speed of 55 kilometers per hour. How long does it take? So remember, how long is the time? So step 1, write down the numbers given from the problem with their units. So kilometers is our distance. So 500 kilometers at a speed of 55 kilometers per hour. So kilometers per hour tells us it's speed. And we're looking for the time. So we're going to use our time formula. Time equals distance divided by speed. Step 3, plug in the numbers into your formula. So time equals 500 kilometers divided by 55 kilometers per hour. Next, plug it in your calculator. Remember, whatever's on top goes in your calculator first. So 500 divided by 55 gives you 9.09. So we can round that to 9.1 or just 9. And we're going to use the units for time here is going to be hours, because kilometers is going to cancel each other out. So hours. Okay. Okay, so in part 2 of this worksheet, questions 8, 9, and 10 are all just like this. You'll use the same formula. So go ahead, pause the video, answer questions 8, 9, and 10. And when you're ready for the next part, part 3, come back. Okay, part 3 is finding the distance. So for part 3, we're using the formula distance equals speed times time. Distance equals speed times time. Okay, so let's do our example here. This should be example number 3. Find the distance of a horse travels in 5 hours at a speed of 10 miles per hour. So we need 5 hours, 10 miles per hour. So step 1, take the information out of the problem and write it down. So 5 hours is the time, 10 miles per hour is the speed, and we're looking for what is the distance. So given this information, the formula we're going to use, because we're looking for distance, distance equals speed times time. Step 3, plug in the numbers into the formula. So speed is 10 miles per hour. Time is 5 hours. So 10 miles per hour times 5 hours. Multiply that and you get 50. Okay, so let's be careful here with the units. M in miles per hour is miles, not meters. So our answer units is going to be miles. Okay, here because it's miles per hour, this is divided by hours times hours, so the hours goes away. Okay, let's do one more together just to make sure you know what you're doing. Number 11, the average speed of a walker is 3.3 miles per hour. If a woman walks at this pace for 1.5 hours, how far did she walk? So how far is the distance? Okay, so step 1, take the information out of the word problem and write it down. So 3.3 miles per hour is the speed. 1.5 hours is your time. And distance is what we're looking for. Okay, so next we're going to write down our formula. Distance equals speed times time. Then we're going to show our work. Plug in the information given into the formula. Distance equals 3.3 miles per hour times 1.5 hours. Put that in your calculator. 3.3 times 1.5 will give you 4.95, or we can round that up to 5.0, and this is looking for distance, so it's going to be miles again. Okay. All right, so try the rest of the worksheet and let us know if you have questions. Have a great, wonderful day and enjoy your math.